Hello babes, it's Mama Cleo. Today I'm dressed like a flapper because I felt like it. I found this in my room while I was cleaning my closet and I was like, I feel like putting this on. So now I'm dressed like a flapper and I'm in my building's community room, which is like pretty common in LA. And people are probably walking by like, why is that girl dressed like a flapper? Is that the same girl who always dresses like cats and weird shit? So yeah, that's my reputation around here. And actually this video is sort of about that. It's a very unfortunate story turned into a happy ending about how Mama Cleo almost was a normal functioning member of society, or in other words, how I almost never became an artist, and how I got here. And really the purpose of this video is to help inspire other people and also to help other people relate to how I've felt in the past, because I know a lot of people feel like this and they're scared to follow their dreams, and it's so scary not to take a traditional path and to become an artist or someone creative, or anything that is outside of the norm. So I just want to share my story with you all. Today's October 18th, 2018. It's my brother's 18th birthday. I'm getting old. And I also have a show tonight, which is exciting. So after this, I'm gonna go practice some more. But okay, so Mama Cleo was born Jacqueline Basulto. It's my last name, Jacqueline Basulto, in Staten Island, New York, in 1995. I'm 23. And from the time I was talking, at least when I was 3 years old, I remember wanting to be a performer, a singer, to write my own songs, to dance around stage. And my parents were like, wow, she's crazy, you know what I mean? I've always been crazy. But anyway, I used to put on shows for my aunts and uncles and my grandparents, and I would like make up elaborate dance routines and get costumes like this and wear my mom's clothes and just be like really crazy, put makeup all over my face when I was like a toddler. And I also used to watch MTV and the Grammys and just cry hysterically and be like, I want to be there one day when I grow up. So, and I mean, I think it's so amazing to think about those times, how innocent we are when we're younger. There's no fear, no worry about money or personal issues or anything that could affect us when we're that young, because we just feel fearless and so powerful. So I always like to think about little Jackie, little Jacqueline, and how brave she was whenever I'm afraid of going after my dreams. So that's like my first tip on how to reconnect with yourself. But anyway, when I was growing up, my parents, they were very lovely people. They are Hispanic immigrants, and they both didn't get to finish college, and they grew up in rough neighborhoods in poor conditions in New York. And so when I was born, they were, moved to Staten Island, which is like a nice suburban area. They wanted me and my brother to have a really good education and a good life. So that was always really instilled in us. And I still think education's super important, of course. But it sort of became more of my focus. I went to high school for singing and I loved it. I sang every day in high school. But then my senior year of high school, I got a full scholarship to Columbia University, which is a really, really good school in New York. It's an Ivy League school. And while I was at Columbia, I started to feel all the pressures of the world. And this isn't just at college or at a fancy college. It's, this would have happened to me even if I'd never gone to college, which is totally okay, by the way. If I've never gone to college, if I went to a smaller school, I would have felt the same way, that I was so lucky to have the opportunities that I had and my parents didn't have, and I needed to do something that was going to pay off for it, that was stable, that I could definitely repay my parents for everything that they've done for me through. And so I stopped singing in college. I avoided concerts and Broadway shows like the plague. My friends will tell you, literally, I would go see Lady Gaga because she's my favorite artist, and see her perform, and it was just so much what I wanted to be doing. My heart would just start beating and going crazy, and then I'd just start crying hysterically afterwards and beat myself up, like, why am I ignoring who I really am? Why am I studying political science? Not that I'm upset that I studied all the stuff that I studied, because I think, it's really positive to have extensive knowledge, but, why am I ignoring what I really want, what I really, really love? And then, all the years I continued to ignore. I was gonna go to law school. I ended up not taking the LSAT though, thank God. No offense to lawyers, it's a cool job, but it's not for me. And then I got a job at Google, which is really crazy. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, it's a big deal. But then I think the bravest thing that I've done for myself was say no to all of those options that were wrong and allow myself to just have time to think about what I wanted. So I basically, after I graduated, I was jobless, but not really, because I started doing a bunch of jobs like web design, a bunch of freelance things, social media. And then it turned into a steady career. So that's what I do for like money purposes while I'm building my music career. And then, I was still full of so much self-doubt about music. I still loved music. It was the only thing I knew in my heart that I really wanted to do. And every time people close to me asked me, I was afraid to admit it because of how much it means to me. And then, when was it? I think this year, 2018, a year after I graduated from college, in around April, let's say, I started thinking to myself, what the fuck? Why am I running a web development company right now? Not that I don't like doing it, I really do enjoy it, but I've been singing since I was 3 years old. I love singing more than anything in the world. I never thought that I would do computer science, web design, web development, anything like that. But now I'm okay with myself doing that as an adult, and I'm confident that I can do it. Why am I confident that I can do this thing that I don't want desperately, when there's this other thing that I've been doing my whole life that I would die for, that I need to do? So that's when I started my journey into accepting that I needed to pursue music and art and be who I really am. And it sounds silly, but it's just so hard to admit to yourself what you actually want. Because once you admit, I want to be a singer, performer, whatever you would call mamacleo, and whatever you'd want to be, you're admitting that that is what you want. And that if you don't do that, and if you're not successful at it, whatever that means to you, that means that you've lost, you've given up. It's much easier, it would have been much easier for me to say, oh yeah, I like singing, but I'm happy with my job and that's fine. And it wouldn't have been fine. My whole life I would have regretted not living it to the fullest, not being my actual self. and babes. And yeah, once I admitted that to myself, my body went into total panic mode. I was really depressed for a few months. I was scared as hell. I was like horrified, mortified to write a song in April and May, the beginning of June. I would tell everyone to leave me alone, lock myself in like 4 rooms so that no one could hear me in the closet, and sing and try to write a song. And it was horrifying. I had no idea where the fuck to start. No one tells you where to start as a musician. Shout out to Sarah Burley's, who has one of the only books about starting as a musician. I read that book like 10 times. And I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know who I wanted to be, what kind of music I wanted to make, whether anyone would ever like me. I didn't know. I was afraid to tell my friends that it was what I wanted to do. I was just so afraid to put myself out there. So in May, my apartment was up in New York, and I decided, you know what? No more fucking living in the dark, Jacqueline / future Mama Cleo. You're going to do this. You're going to do this now. It's not too late. It's never too late. I don't care how old you are. Look at Sia. She had her first huge hit in her 40s as a pop singer, which is unheard of. You know, it's never too late. Just fucking set your mind to it and do it. And that day, I decided I'm moving to Los Angeles and I'm gonna do this. And I'm not gonna do it for me. I'm gonna do it because I'm getting strength inside of myself, and I need to share this message with other people because my life is going to be bigger than just me and just me being afraid of myself. I'm not going to let my own fear and my own anxiety let me stop myself from giving all of me, for giving something that I have always loved more than anything to people and sharing it with them. So that's what you really all mean to me too. It's not just, you hear me sing and I want to hear compliments or anything like that. It's like I get to share a part of me with you, and you can relate to it. You can hate it. You can love it. You can think nothing of it, but it makes life all the more better to share our gifts with each other. So this is like more emotional than I thought it would be. But back to moving to LA. So I moved to LA like in 1 week's notice, like a crazy person. My parents were like, what the hell? And when I got here, I was still freaking out. I was freaking out even more. I produced my first song, Curious, in June. I was freaked out about it. I was freaked out like crazy, blah, 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 blah. Then in July, I finally made an Instagram page. I started adding people and calling them my babies. I posted Curious, and that was scary too because I was like, okay, now what? And then I started making songs more and more and more, and it started feeling comfortable and fun, and now it feels comfortable and fun. I still have a lot of work to do to grow, but it feels like much better than before. And I've grown my audience, my supporters, which has been amazing. And there's still so many things I'm unsure of. Like, I was on the radio this week and I have no idea what that means. I have no idea. I have a show tonight. I have no idea what to expect. I never know what's going to happen when I put a song into the world, or when I do an event, or anything really, when I meet someone. But all I know is that now I'm living the most authentic life I've ever lived, and I think I can live. And as I sort of embrace myself as Mama Cleo and, you know, myself as Jacqueline. It's just crazy how much happier I've gotten, how much more beauty I see in everything in life. And so I guess my message to this, and I was talking to someone last night who made me really think about this. My message is that no matter where you are in life, no matter what obligations you feel, it is never too late, and it is never a bad time to start living the most authentic life you can. Even if it hurts like fuck, because it will hurt a lot, and people around you will be confused, and you know, you might have to make some sacrifices, like staying up later to learn how to produce music or any other skill, you know, working multiple jobs like I have many times, to support your family and to keep yourself afloat and to invest in your own career. It's very complicated, but there's nothing, I promise, nothing more worth it than finding that for yourself. And it's never too late. So I hope this inspired some people, and if it didn't, at least you know a little bit more about me now. I'm really happy, and I'm also glad I just reflected with you guys, because now I'm gonna go do my show, and it's like, forget about being nervous. Like, this is it. I'm finally here in LA doing my thing, and that's all. That's all it has to be for now. So, thank you for watching, babes. I know it was a long one, story time. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow.